heard someone say that you have to treat each YouTube video on its own, presenting who you are and what you do, just in case it will go viral and new people will see you for the first time. So if you hear me presenting myself in each one of my videos, this is why. Hi, I'm Nisa, I love books and jellycats, and as a result of that I started a bookstagram 1 year ago in February. I grew my account to 50k followers and I also monetized it by selling digital products. Okay, I'm done. So in today's video I'm gonna do a Q&A that I started gathering from Instagram. I am going to be answering all of your questions about my journey or books or everything else, while I vlogged some of my process in creating content and updating my reading planner. So if you're curious about my growth or what books I read, keep on watching. First question. I'm experimenting with carousels but none have gone viral. Okay, so this is a good question, especially since Instagram algorithm changed lately, and my best performing posts are the ones that make people feel something, the ones that they can relate to, something that inspires them. Next are my signature series, and that's because people save them so that they can come back later. And last are the valuable carousels. This is where you share your educational posts, how to read more, how to get out of a reading slump, and things like that. You don't need to post bookstagram tips and tricks like I do. Value can come in different forms. They come from your experience and your life. Other tips I have for a carousel to go viral is to hook people visually from the start, is by using a bold text or font and have contrast between the image and your text. Also your second slide, since usually is shown to people a second time on their feed, you need to add a second hook there. Basically you add the title again on your second slide and you continue with the information from there. Okay, let's move on. Second question is, I'm having trouble finding a good angle for my faceless videos and also pick content ideas for it. Your best friend here is Pinterest. If you search for faceless content, girly book photos, you get a ton of ideas and poses that you can recreate, but of course with your own spin and your own voice, with preps that you have laying around your house. But keep in mind that you are not allowed to download the photos from Pinterest directly, just because they're probably copyrighted. Because of that, you can search for photos on websites that are free, for example Unsplash or Pixies or iStock. If you search for the same things as on Pinterest, like faceless girls or library girls book photos, you will find photos that you can reuse and actually download and add them to your bookstagram. And the best tip I have for faceless content is using a tripod with Lens Buddy app. You press play and the app will take photos for you. Again, this is not sponsored. Okay, next question. If you could only read one genre for the rest of your life, what would it be? Romantasy or fantasy for sure. I never get bored of reading this kind of books. Okay, my top 5 books. This is very hard to decide, but I will try to make a top 5. So my top 5 are in no particular order, because I cannot decide on what place to add each one of them. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This is one of those books that made me cry 3 times. You guys, I don't know if you know this about me, but I never cry reading books, usually. I'm pretty emotionless, but this book made me sob. Daggermouth by Wolfie. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. So this is a book that was released recently and it had some kind of controversy around it. So this book is a dystopian book and it's dark romance. It's also very political in my opinion. And because of that, another author attacked the author. I don't know exactly the details. I think she posted something about her book being political and there were some things going on in America at that time. I don't want to get too much into it, but in my opinion and everyone else's opinion, Wolfie had the right in it. She just shared a quote from her book that was very significant to that time and she shouldn't have been dragged by it, in my opinion. And because of that, everyone started reading her book to support her and everyone said that it's like top 5, like a 6-star book. And in the beginning I didn't believe them, just because of the whole controversy and supporting and everything that happened. And I've read it and you guys, it's one of the best books I've read this year. I don't think there was 1 second when I've put down the book and like I was bored or something. It was so well written. The FMC is one of the most badass characters I've ever met. I swear. You really have to read this book. Third book is Made by Ailey Hazelwood. It's just one of those fun romantasies and I don't know, the burning and love and romance in it. It was so well written. One of the best books this year. Sunrise on the Reaping by Colleen Suzanne. I loved reading about Hamish's story and what happened. It was so well written and it made me cry. I mean, I know I told you I never cry at books. This is one of those books that made me cry. I have to give it a 5-star. Okay, so the last book is Quicksilver by Kaylee Hart. It has phase and romance and I don't know, it's slow burn and the story and the plot. I love everything about it. The second book, Brimstone, I didn't love it as much. I think it was like a filler book. It was so boring. I think it took me 1 month to finish it, and that says a lot. Next, I have 2 related questions. One would be, how do I improve my engagement, and how do you calculate engagement when a publisher asks for metrics? So the formula to calculate your engagement rate is by dividing the total interactions, likes, comments, saves, shares, by the total followers or reach, then multiplying by 100. But if you search on Google Instagram engagement calculator, you will find some free ones that you can use, so you don't have to do it by yourself. Usually a good rate is between 1 and 3%, and above 3% is considered high. I have a full YouTube video about engagement and how to grow it, but I will give you a few tips here as well. As we talked in the beginning, if you create inspirational or valuable content, people will share it and save it more often. I think those metrics are more important than comments as well. I had posts that went viral that had like 50 comments and 1000 saves. Usually before I post, I engage for 10 minutes with the people I follow. Then after that I will respond to all my comments and I will go to their profile and comment back and engage with their content as well. But in the end, I don't think it matters as much how many comments you get. Like I said, if you share something that inspires people, or like a meme, they are more likely to share it with everyone else or save it. Okay, next question. What are the biggest challenges you are facing on YouTube? Honestly, I think it's the time to edit for me and to film. I never know what to film. I always stay at home. I work a 9 to 5 from home. So because of that, I usually post once every 2 weeks or 3 weeks, because one of those weeks I film around and the next one I edit. Also because I don't show my face in my videos, I have to do the voiceover after I film and have all the footage. So yeah, for now I didn't took YouTube that seriously. I just want like for a year to post consistently at least once a month to see some growth, some subscribers, some views, for YouTube to recognize my content and to know to what people to show it to. So I'm not so stressed about it right now, honestly. Okay, so when did your love for reading begin? This is a good one. I think I'm one of those people who started reading for pleasure in my adult life. 5 years ago, I lost my grandpa, and that's when I was at my lowest. I was depressed and stuff like that. I also met my best friend in that period of time, and she was a big reader. Like, she is one of those girls who reads for pleasures and never DNFs a book, no matter how bad it is. And we were walking around in a bookstore, and I really loved the look and the feel of a book. I loved to own a few of them, even though I'd never read them. I had the impression, because when I was in high school, I hated reading because it was forced upon me, and because of that I had the impression that reading is boring, and I have ADHD, so I was for sure like I will not be able to read or try to finish a book. So she was like, let's try to buy something together, like a whole series. And I know what you're thinking, you should never buy a series before you read the first book, but oh well. We got The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lin, I think. I don't think that's a good book to start getting you into reading. I was bored, but I realized that I can finish books, but I definitely didn't want to continue the series, and I was like, I need another kind of series, I need something else, because definitely I see it in me that I want to read and I want to escape into the world and into fantasy, and I want to forget about the pain and everything else. And I know you might judge me for it, but the next series I got was Akotar, and it wasn't because I had a BookTok or a Bookstagram at that time, and it was because I searched on Google what's the most popular fantasy romance book right now, and that what came up. So I got the first book at that time. I didn't want to buy again the whole series, and I was hooked. I've read the whole series in a week. I don't talk about Akotar or promote it on my bookstagram or my channel just because I don't agree with some of the things Sarah J Maas did, but I cannot lie to you guys or to people that wasn't the first series that I bought and I've read. I didn't know anything about the author. I didn't know anything about reading in general, about books, about the community, about what's wrong or right. After that, I've read like 90 books that year. 90 from zero the previous year. Who's your favorite local author from your home country? Okay, because in high school I've read only Romanian authors and stories from my country. I actually never did read a book recently from an author that is Romanian. So I cannot say which book is my favorite, but I will try to write myself and pick up a book that was written by a Romanian author. I usually read all of my books in English just because I want to speak better. I also watch all of the TV shows or movies in English with English subtitles because I want to be able to understand the language as well. And that's it. This is everything I could fit in the footage I had. If you liked this kind of video and you found it helpful, let me know in the comments and I will create more of these. And if you have any feedback on it, like if I talk too fast or too slow, how is the editing, and if you have any extra questions, you can drop them down below in the comment section and I will try to answer everyone. And see you next time. Bye!